Recording. Time's up. And then, come on, let me restart it. Thank you. Restart timer.
It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold.
Sounds like Snezhnaya to me.
Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the waves." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate.
It's more than a prophecy, it's simply a truth.
Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something.
Probably the Gnosis. I keep wanting to see the Gnosis. You gotta show it to me. I don't know where the fuck it is.
This is it.
Either of these two.
Perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone. Huh?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well.
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if your grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
How about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin?
He's the one who blew the whole institute
Oh.
sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head, but you're not a local, so I guess it's possible for you not to have heard of him.
Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to...
What a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Blowing it up.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question.
That is true.
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, officially be madder than Edwin.
Oh, y'all are definitely a couple.
Jeez. Forget I said anything then. Follow me.
They're definitely a couple.
Whoa! There's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
Like, yeah, seriously. Paimon, we've seen much better than this.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
You do you.
Let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
What is that?
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before.
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria.
I have.
To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster.
There's a plan for the ages.
Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good.
And that was a lore trip and a half. Okay.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh!
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great.
Yeah, I'm definitely telling him. Screw you. I'm telling him what it is. I want the freaking conflict. It's what drives the story forward. There's no conflict, there's no story. That's how it works. There's got to be a conflict and a resolution. Also, man, every single one of these Archon quest sets have been just massive lore dumps.
Welcome back.
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Sishui.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so...
I really can't make sense of this place. So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yes, and here is absolutely everything and perfect fine detail.
He explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
nobody else is...
All right.
Oh,
then
what the...
I'll
Okay.
posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Whoa, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's Arlene. Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very... What's more, the fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Risley is basically the king of a no man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let
Ooh.
me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
Do I? This is the point where I get the choice. Okay, I do. Okay, I don't have a choice. Okay, good.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side? Which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden? Paimon's hungry.
Really?
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
Now let's eat Siege Wind's meal, because we still have it. Oh. Did not mean to do that. I always do shit like that. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it here, and then I'm gonna continue in a little bit. Then I use the bathroom.